Vicky, and I'm back with another video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, all that. As you can see, we are here to discuss my new favorite show in the whole entire viewing world. Like, for real. So, yeah, we're here to recap season 2, but I'm going to do it part 1 and part 2 because the other 3 times I did Sex in the City, it was like an hour long, and I honestly could have made those videos 2 hours, but I'm gonna just try to break it up by part so it won't be, but damn, I'm only gonna do the first 9 episodes, and this still be an hour long, then it's just like, yikes. But I was seeing a lot of slack about season 2, and I'm here to shut that down because I really felt like season 2 was tea. Like, season 2 was good because of how badly I hated people in this season. Like, that's like, if I go a whole season and I like everybody, then it's like, okay, this season not that good. But the fact that I was growing hatred for people in this season and was feeling some type of way with the people in this season, I was just like, okay, I like this season. So yeah, like, what's up with the season 2 slander? Like, I liked it. So with that being said, if y'all want to see me recap the first half of season 2 of Sex in the City, stay tuned with this video. If not, then just go somewhere else, lamer. Okay, but before I get into the recap, I was seeing a lot of things that I like to discuss and that I am going to discuss as recapping this thing. The big question that we are going to answer at the end of this, because somebody said that, you know, somebody made a video and said, oh, y'all tripping. Y'all, meaning us, the viewers. They said, Mr. Big loved Carrie in his own way. Did this dude love Carrie? We don't know. I say no, but let's break it down as we recap this. So yeah, season 2, episodes 1 through 9. Let's recap it and let's get into a few questions. So yeah, so we start season 2, episode 1, where the last season, episode 1, left off. So Carrie is basically depressed, upset over her breakup with Mr. Big, and you know, she's crying, she's imagining that she's seeing him everywhere, and you know, she's just going through that phase. Do I blame her for this? No, she's just going through a breakup, so it's just like, yeah, this is one of the only times I gave Carrie grace. Like, I was, you know, she can grieve, baby, grieve. But her friends Miranda and Charlotte pick her up, and they're just like, bro, well, Miranda's just like, bro, you've been sitting here down in the dumps over old dudes, so yeah, let's go to a baseball game. Charlotte's basically on some, oh my gosh, you know, take all the time that you need type thing, on some Charlotte stuff. So they pick up Samantha, who's pretending to still be happy with tiny wee wee dude, and honestly, Samantha must have really liked small wee wee dude, because of the fact that we know how sex craved Samantha is, and the fact that she wasn't really getting sex out of small wee wee dude. It's just like, okay. I was like, oh, is this character development we're seeing here already? Like, feelings, she's putting feelings over sex. Like, that's what it looked like to me at first. So they go to the baseball game, and honestly, they have a good time. They kind of had to be forced to get in there, but you know, they ended up having a good time. Well, Miranda kind of forced them to have a good time. You know, they ended up catching the ball. So afterwards, after they catch the ball, they go get the ball signed by the baseball player that hit the ball. And Carrie, her depressed, going through a breakup as ex-baseball dude on a date. And y'all know why. I was like, Carrie is, I mean, even though she still is grieving, like, me personally, I knew this was like on some rebound, like, I'm upset and I need something to do to get over my boyfriend type thing. Like, that was something I never took serious. But her even taking that step, I was just like, the boldness. She said like, this is a new Carrie. I was just like, okay. However, Miranda thinks she made the bad choice. She said that the rebound dude is not supposed to be the Yankee guy. And it's just like, to me, I was just like, I mean, why not? Like, she don't gotta expect nothing from the dude. Like, girl, she went, no lie. Like, I honestly didn't see anything wrong with this whole thing. So, she asked New Yankee Dude out, and her and New Yankee Dude and Charlotte and some dude, they go on a double date. And within the midst of that, Charlotte's boyfriend has a problem, like kind of like pinching and groping, you know, like scratching his body parts. And no lie, yeah, that was kind of weird too. Like, I saw that in a Drewski skit when they say, you know, white frat guys do it. But seeing this in the show, I was like, oh, like that really happens? Like, some dudes just be pinching their crotch like it's itchy or something? Like, that's weird. Oh, but I forgot that before they went to the party, I mean, not Charlotte, Carrie, she found a picture of her and Big, and she was just all upset, and it kind of put her in a bad mood. And even when she was out on her date, she thought she saw him, but she really didn't see him. And basically at this moment, Carrie just wants to bump into her ex, especially while she's with New Yankee Dude. So that's why when they were like, oh, New Yankee Dude is not supposed to be the rebound, it's just like kind of like a, like, no lie, maybe I'm toxic too, but I felt her. Like, you know, if you're gonna pop out, at least pop out with somebody bigger and better, okay? Like, what? So then Carrie asked the question, what are the breakup rules? And honestly, you want to know what the breakup rules are? I honestly, like I said, I ain't have an issue with what she did. You know, the rebound for the Yankee dude, you know, that was, but honestly, in my terms, the breakup rules for me is kind of like a, like, dang, because y'all, I'm honestly going through this phase right now. So mine's is honestly like a forgive and forget type thing. Like, I'm not the type, I don't want to bump into the person. Like, I really just want, you know, everything to be gone. You know, I don't even want to do the whole, oh, I'm about to flex on my ex thing. It's just like, no. The breakup rules are, y'all just separate. You let that person be, that person let y'all be. And then when y'all, if y'all do just bump into each other, let it be accidental. Like, let it be a gag, and like, don't go out of your way to bump into your ex. Like, yeah, that's the breakup rules, that you let that person be and the other person let you be. Like, yeah. So it turns out when Carrie was with Yankee Dude, somebody took their picture and they ended up in the newspaper. The girls are all at dinner, and you know, they're discussing Carrie with the Yankee player, they're discussing, you know, Samantha and Small Wee Wee Dude, and they're also discussing Charlotte and, you know, her dude having, you know, pinching himself and whatnot. And Miranda gets upset, because she's just like, how come 4 successful women have nothing to do but talk about men? Like, when did it always become about them? Like, how come they don't have anything else to do but sit down and talk about dudes? Gag them. So Miranda ends up leaving. But did Miranda mean what she said? Yes, because that's literally all they do. But the thing is, she actually participates in that. So it's just like, honestly, the only reason why Miranda was upset is because of the fact that she's just going through, you know, something similar. Because then after that, she bumps into, you know, her ex-boyfriend Eric that broke her heart, and she just kind of like hid and she ran away. So it's just like, honestly, Miranda's just the person. It's like, she wants that love, she wants everything that the girls want, but she's just a hard ass about it. And Miranda, she's just stubborn. She's not as vulnerable as the girls to just kind of like put it out there all on the floor. So it's just like, yeah, she's going through the same thing. She's having these same thoughts of the what is my ex, but you know, she just doesn't really know how to communicate that. So it's just like the only way she could have gotten that aggression out was her blowing up at them and then leaving. But do all they talk about is dudes? Like, yeah, of course. But shoot, girl, 2 days ago you were just, you know, so it's just like, because at first I was just like, oh, is this Miranda character development? She's gonna be done with that. But no, when she ran away from Eric, it was just like, okay, so she just upset about some of her own guy stuff, and all of this is just getting to her. I hate. Okay, I'm getting too ahead of myself, but I really do hate that Miranda was just always the person, because that way when she did blow up, they always looked at her like, oh, it was rude, but nobody asked Miranda like, girl, what's going on? Like, why you mad at us? Like, we didn't do nothing to you. So it's just like, I don't know, the issue with this friend group is just that, you know, yeah, nobody really catered to Miranda. It's just like she was just always the person that blew up, or you know, so it's just like nobody was really soft with her. Because I really do feel like somebody really should have, like, if I were Miranda's friend, I just would have sat down with her, called her, just like, hey, are you okay? You know, what's going on? Like, I know you said all we talk about is this, that, and the third, but it's just like you threw some aggression out there that, you know, was kind of like, let's see. But it's like, yeah, I just hate that she didn't have that. Like, they didn't coddle her like they did freaking Carrie all the time. But I digress. So Miranda tries to improve her sex life with James, and you know, we do, but it honestly just doesn't work, and she just gets frustrated at it. And it's just like, yeah, like I said, like she must really like James, and it's just like, okay, I like that. And then Charlotte's boyfriend breaks up with her because she bought him some boxers, because she just thought maybe, you know, he's touching and pinching himself because, you know, he doesn't have proper underwear. But when he buys her the underwear, when she buys him the underwear and she gives it to him, he gets all mad like, well, this is just too fast and it's been 3 weeks and woo. But it's just like, honestly, she was right to let him complain and leave, because it's just like, even though that's some Charlotte stuff to do, to buy a guy a gift after 3 weeks, it's still like, dude, like, it wasn't even about that this time. Like, she wasn't even being Delulu this time. Like, she was being serious. And like, I hate the fact that the one time Charlotte was thinking logical and not being Delulu, it blew up in her face, because it's just like, dang, like, I was just trying to help you out. A b-ball player and Carrie go out, and she ends up bumping into Big, like, for real this time, because every time she's been out, she's been imagining him in her head, but this time she actually bumps into him. Well, when I'm telling you, no lie, first encounter after breakup, awkward, but it's just like, Carrie, you can just tell that she was just never ever over him. Like, regardless of how nonchalant he was acting, you can, like, it was written all over her face that she was just like, oh my gosh, like, it's Mr. Big, like, what do I do? Like, she was, mind you, she's on a date with Mr. Yankee, okay? And she tried to put that in like, oh, you know, this is it. Big is just like, oh, I know who you are. Like, that whole interaction, like, you can just tell that she was sweating. And the issue was, she was just letting it be known, because he touched her and we just felt it slow motion. And it's just like, after their interaction, you know, in her head, that interaction was probably like 5 minutes, but in reality, it was like 20 seconds. So they leave, and she cries in Yankee Dude's mouth. Like, she's just crying. She's just like, that guy in there. I was crying when she called him that suit guy. Because it's like, yeah, does Mr. Big have any regular clothes? Like, this is all we see him in, like, in some suits or something. Like, yeah, like, Buddy don't got no clothes, but she cries in Yankee Dude's mouth, and, you know, she just realizes that, yeah, like, she's not ready to date again. Like, she's still not over Big. And it's just like, understandable. And it's just like, yeah, no lie, Yankee dude, that would have been a good rebound, but the rebound just ended up failing because she just got out there when her feelings were way too heavy, you know, I guess. Like I said, what I hate about their relationship is just like, she was just never over him. And this goes back into the question somebody proposed. They were just like, did Big love Carrie? Well, we do know that he knew that she loved him, and that's what he knew for a fact. Okay, but I'm getting too ahead of myself. But okay, so afterwards, she calls Miranda and they sit down and they talk. You know, she's here for her friend. They're here for one another. Miranda tells her, like, you know, it's not you, it's me. You know, I saw Eric and I ran. And, you know, I'm glad that, you know, Miranda was there for her after everything. But like I said, Miranda, you know, she was there for Carrie. Like, I just hate that Miranda is, you know, the strong friend, because it's like, you know, I ain't see Carrie give her a hug after she sat down and was just like, you know, she ran from Eric. But Miranda told Carrie to take all the time she needs getting over him, and that was honestly some good advice. Like, I really do agree that Carrie needs to take all the time that she needs, but the thing is, she just never got over him, and that's the thing. And next is episode 2. So now we get to episode 2, and in episode 2 we meet one of Carrie's friends whose husband was just honestly verbally, well, I'm not gonna say that. That's a wild accusation. He was just rude. He was tripping. He was yelling at her and whatnot. In therapy, I've learned that that's verbal abuse, okay? Because Carrie and her friend, they get home and, you know, husband is asleep, and then he wakes up and he just lashes out at both of them. And y'all, honestly, if I was at one of my friends' house and their husband just came out, well, I would not be in this situation, but if one of their husbands just came out and started tripping at us, I would just be in shock. Like, yeah, it's time for me to go. But as Carrie's about to go, she whispers something to the husband, and that kind of sets him off. And the friend kind of calls her and was just like, yeah, you know, husband is blah, 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 blah. And she asked Carrie, would you leave him? And Carrie was just like, if things don't change. And she said, and she kind of regretted telling her that. Because one thing I do say, don't tell your friend to leave him or her, or don't. I've learned to just stay out of other people's business, okay? If somebody want to leave, they gonna leave. If they don't want to leave, they, like, just let them do them. Because if somebody want to leave, either they gonna do it on their own terms, but nobody's gonna leave their man just because their friend told them to. Believe it or not. Like, you can sit down and vent to your friends like, oh, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, that person gonna go back to their man, regardless of how much crap they told you. So it's just like, don't get baited into the whole, should I leave him? Just answer that question with, do you? Okay? Don't even say what you would do if you were them. Just say, do you? So, afterwards, we have Miranda, because she is having issues because her man likes, you know, sex talk, and she doesn't. She finds it awkward. And honestly, it being Miranda, I understand. Like, if anyone else in the group would have said that, I would have been shocked. But I can see Miranda not even being that vulnerable to actually want to do that, like sex talk. So it's just like, I like that. Then Charlotte gets a dog, and I'm guessing this dog was just supposed to be, you know, the male companionship in her eyes, because you all know how Charlotte is. But honestly, as far as this whole dog storyline goes, like, it honestly didn't really go anywhere. So don't, I'ma just disregard that for right now. So we go to Samantha, who her James, small wee wee boy, is offering to go to couples counseling because they're not having sex. And Samantha, honestly, does not have the heart to tell him why. So, unfortunately, it comes out in couples counseling. And y'all want to know what he told her? He said, maybe I'm not too small. Maybe your vagina is just too big. So then we find out that Carrie's friend actually left her husband. So Carrie is just kind of on some WTF thing, like, why would you leave your husband? And it's just like, you told me to, you know? And it's just like, well. So her friend is kind of like, you know, upset, staying with her, and then it's just kind of like on sub, you know, just some weird tension stuff, in my opinion. Because it's like, the friend is like, oh, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have done this. And it's just like, girl, no, you should have done that for you. Leave your husband, because you know, because the thing is, you knew your husband was angry. You knew your husband was weird. It shouldn't take me to say that as your friend. Like, so, like, yeah. Then, plus that, it's Carrie's birthday. And yo, it's always somebody's birthday. It's Carrie's birthday and Big sends her some flowers. Charlotte feels like it's sweet, but Samantha and Miranda feel like it's BS. And of course, Charlotte, helpless romantic, she feels like it's sweet. And she feels like that he sent her flowers because he didn't know how to say I'm sorry. So Carrie being Delulu over Big, and the thing is, Carrie being friends with Charlotte was just perfect for her delusion, okay? Because Charlotte was like Delulu like her. Like, Charlotte, all she needed was a man, and that was just enough for her. Like, if you know, you know, like, or if you get it, you get it. Like, Charlotte literally didn't need anything to complete that puzzle except for a man. So it's just like, Big, regardless of whatever Big did to her, the fact that he sent Carrie some flowers was a thumbs up in her book. But I agree with Miranda and Miranda and Samantha, like, yo, like, that's it? Like, flowers for your birthday? Like, and that's supposed to mean I'm sorry? Like, what the heck? So Carrie asked the question, are there still certain things in a relationship one should never say? Honestly, yes and no. In her friend's case, her husband she should have been told her husband that he was crazy and that if he don't get his ish together, she's leaving. That should have been something that should have been said. Okay, as far as in the whole Big context, yes, because if he really wanted to say sorry, it's like, and the thing is, like, I hate that I ended up on the side of TikTok that, like, empathizes with him. Like, oh my gosh, he was just emotionally detached. Like, that's the point. Like, he was deranged, and I just hate that, you know, and he got stands out here. However, I will say, oh, I'll get to that, because I'm gonna be honest. So, at the end of the episode, you know, Carrie ends up inviting Big to her dinner, and honestly, her end up inviting him to her dinner kind of backfired on her because of the fact that he ended up getting lap dances from belly dancers in front of her, and it was just like, y'all, and this was just number 50 million example of why I hated him, because it's just like, the crazy thing is, like, the reason why I cannot rock with him is because of the fact that he knew how Carrie felt about him, and he always did crap that annoyed her and that embarrassed her in front of her face with no remorse. Like, she invited her ex that she's still in love with to her birthday dinner, and he just sit here and he was just throwing these belly dancers 20s ones. Like, oh, he was having the time of his life. Like, it was his b-day, and it was just like, damn, and she had to watch it on her b-day. Like, I low-key felt bad for her, because it was just like, even her friends was asking, like, bro, why did you invite him? She said she did, you know, regret inviting him and whatnot, but it was still like, girl, like, he should have been blocked. So old girl ends up going back to her husband, and at the end of the episode, Mr. Big and Carrie, they're just walking the streets, and you know, she just realizes that she's just not over him. And it's just like, you can just tell, you can feel it. And like I said, I just hate that he just knew this information, and he just knew how vulnerable she was to him. Because it's just like, I honestly don't feel like, unpopular opinion though, I really don't feel like he had, even though it's never a reason, like, he had no reason to, like, kind of dog her like how he did. It's like, damn, the girl just liked him. And the thing is, what I don't understand, I'm not about to hop on the wave and say that he liked her in his own way. I'm not gonna say that. However, my thing is, why keep her around if you did not F with her like that? Because it's like, it was certain times, well, at this time in the series, I still don't think that he liked her. It's like, he liked they had sexual chemistry. I will say that. They had sexual chemistry. It's like, they had good chemistry, but it's just like, I really wasn't feeling the emotional connection from the Mr. Big side. It's like I was seeing everything else besides that emotional connection, but from her side, it's like she just loved him so much that she just didn't care. It's like, you could see it. But with him, I really, like, even as they were going their way and his way, like, I really wasn't feeling the, oh, you know, like, he loved her. I just saw that he was looking at her and he was just like, you know, it's your birthday. If you want to do the do, and then you know you can come back with me. I really just hate how he took advantage of her, like, for real. Cause it's like, honestly, like, I feel Carrie. I understand. Like, have y'all ever dated like a manipulator, like a narcissist before? Cause shit, no lie, I have. So it's just like, no lie, like, I feel Carrie. Like, I understand why she was doing what she was doing, but I don't like how long she was doing what she was doing. I will say that. At this point in the series, I'm giving her grace, okay? Something I just learned in counseling was called grace and accountability. Like, right now, I'm giving her grace. Because of the fact that she's just, you know, she's not going back yet. So that takes us to episode 3. Now we get to episode 3. And episode 3 is when I started to understand. Like, it just started to slowly come together. Like, everything started to make sense when it comes to the Mr. Big and Carrie thing. But we gonna get to that. So first, Samantha goes out with a guy and he calls her old. And he says, what are you, at least like 40, 45? And she, you know, feels some type of way about that, okay? And then we get to Charlotte, who's trying to date. She tries to date. But Charlotte tries to date everyone, but she tries to date a guy that they're hearing through the grapevine that, you know, he's good at, you know, eating. So Charlotte, she does that, and, you know, it's actually good. So Charlotte thinks that she can start an emotional connection with a guy that is known for being a good eater. And I honestly do feel like if you hear that somebody's a munch, you just gotta let that person be the munch. Like, you never ever fall in love with the munch, okay? Like, you know how they say certain people are just there for what they supposed to do, and yeah, the munch is just supposed to be the munch. Charlotte just should have let that happen and just try it once and let it be. Because she asked this dude on a date, and as they're on their date, he pretends like he's eating, but he's doing that to the food, and it's just kind of like, okay, like, yeah, weirdo. So that's why you should just let the munch be the munch. And this is another example of when I say, like, Charlotte is honestly the same as the girls. She's just classier, she's just beautiful, and she just prom queen, and so she just doesn't put it out there that she'll let a guy, you know, munch just because. But she does things like that. But if somebody else would have done it, like, it would have been like, oh my gosh, you do that. Like, she didn't even want to say the P word, and it's like, it's so cool, you don't have to say the P word, but it's just like, let's not act like you don't act like the people that's saying the P word just because you say vagina instead of the P word. So it's just like, what? Then in this episode, after the dude calls Samantha old, she decides to get a face BBL, and she takes, you know, all the fat out of her and she puts it in her face. And after she does that, you know, she asks the doctor, like, ooh, what else can I do? And the doctor's just drawing on her, telling her what she can prove on amongst her body, and it's just like, she gets kind of freaked out. And I'm honestly glad that they didn't go that route with, you know, letting Samantha get plastic surgery, because I really do like how confident and how fierce Samantha is. So even seeing that, you know, she was kind of tripped up when old dude called her old, it kind of made me sad, because it was just like, I just really like how, you know, I like the way each of the girls carry themselves, but I really do like Samantha's boldness. Like, Samantha is just that girl, and she walks as that. So seeing her have that weak moment in her looks, it was like, it kind of saddened me. And then you go to Carrie. And in this episode, Carrie, she's like, she went on a few blind dates, and all the guys she went on a blind dates with are weird. So she asked the question, are all guys freaks? Because one of the dudes she went out with, he was just a weirdo. The second dude, he had anger issues, and the third dude, I think he was stealing stuff. So she meets this fourth dude, and he was a good guy. You know, they go on a date, and he kind of treats her, he's treating her well. So because he was treating her so well, and because he was such a good guy, she thought that it was something wrong with him. So as they were in his house, he says, like, you know, I have to go to a soccer game or whatever. And as he is gone, she like raids his whole house. She goes through his refrigerator, his closet, under his bed, and like, y'all, she went through his whole house trying to find something. So she comes across this box that looks like it's just like some secret box, and she feels like in that box is where she's going to find out, like, this dude is deranged, like, this dude is a freak. Like, I knew it was too good to be true, because whatever he is hiding inside this box is gonna be enough for me to leave him alone. And that's gonna prove to me that all these dudes are weird. Like, it's not me as Carrie. Like, it's really not me. All these dudes are just weird. So he comes home in the midst of all this, her going through her stuff, and see that she's literally about to open this box, and he's literally like, WTF. So he opens the box, and y'all tell me why it was nothing in the box but like some memories or stuff, like some Boy Scout stuff. Moral of the story, it was nothing in the box. Nothing in the box. She just thought it was something crazy in this box because she's just used to craziness. And you know what the crazy thing is? She searched for this. She searched for this. It was nothing that old dude did yet that indicated that he was a freak or in this aspect of the episode that he was a freak. but she looked for this because she just thought it was something. And it's just like, the girl just can't think that something good is happening to her because she's just used to madness. Even though the crazy thing is, Carrie likes that though. Like, it was just making sense to me because as he kicked her out and he's just like, you know, I was coming back because I was missing you. I wanted to see you, but now that I see that you raided my place and you trying to go through my secret box because you think I'm a weirdo, you gotta get out. And as she's leaving, she's just like, yeah, you know, maybe it's not all just dude. Maybe all of us are freaks. Like, girl, you think? Carrie, in this aspect of the episode, yeah, girl, you a freak. You a freak. Cause it's just like, it made me piece it together. Like, she claims she doesn't like toxic, but she is, because she was just searching for the toxic. Like, she could have, at least, she didn't even let it come to her. Like, whatever he was hiding, if he was hiding something, it would have came out eventually. But shit, her looking for it is like she was seeking it. She wanted it. It was just like, yo, like, where's the toxic? Like, I'm confused. So it's just like, I hate that she messed it up with him, because he seemed like he was a good guy. But it's like, Carrie, she just don't want herself a good guy. She don't. Then we get to episode 4, and no lie, this episode I felt kind of bad for her, because Carrie was supposed to be the cover of this shoe called Single and Fabulous, but she ends out staying up all night and basically oversleeping for the photo shoot. So when she shows up, she looks a mess. And instead of doing her hair and makeup so she can look single and fabulous, she looks single and a mess. And they post her no makeup, ugly ASS picture on the front page. And the title of the magazine is Single and Fabulous ? I felt bad for her, because it's just like, girl, why did you show up? But it's just like, the girl stayed out all night partying, whoop, whoop, whoop. So I'm guessing she thought, like, this is a photo shoot, right? Like, they're gonna make up, be everything. But once she would have saw that that's not what was going on, she should have left. Honestly, because it's like, what's going on here? I thought this was supposed to be Single and Fabulous. I'm not feeling fabulous. So it's like, I felt bad for her, but girl, she should have spoke up. She should have said something. Also, Miranda ends up faking it with some guy. And the reason why she's saying she fakes it is because, you know, he's a good guy. And basically, she doesn't want to hurt him. So she tries to, like, you know, teach him. And it honestly doesn't end up going anywhere. So she just has to continue on faking it with him, and it just seems like she's kind of upset about that. And then we have Charlotte, who fakes a relationship with her handyman just because. So Carrie asked the question, is it better to fake it than to be alone? Now, like, something that should have been taught in this show since episode 1, season 1, is that honestly, it's okay to be alone. Because if y'all think about it, all of their problems emerged just due to the fact that they were scared to be alone. Charlotte, she dated the handyman just so she wouldn't be alone. Like, her handyman was just leaving, and she faked the relationship with him. Basically it was a fake relationship. Like, they were in a relationship, and it was just like, for what? Like, why are y'all faking to be together for the sake of nothing? And then Miranda faking it to please old dude. It's just like, now you're not getting anything out the situation because you're faking it. Like, girl, just be alone. Just be alone. And then afterwards, you know, Carrie ends up going to a party with Stanford. You know, Carrie, she's still upset about the magazine cover, and she ends up leaving with some guy. And as she's with some guy, you know, he holds up the magazine covers, is like, oh, hey, this is you. And she gets upset about that. And she was gonna sleep with the dude, but she realized that the only reason why she was gonna sleep with him is to prove that, you know, she was single and fabulous. And her not sleeping with him was just a wake-up call that, you know, she doesn't need to do all this to be considered fabulous, which is good. And then after the episode, she ended up having dinner alone and she's happy about it. And I just really wish that energy would have resonated with her and stayed with her. And I honestly wish that energy would have resonated with all of them. And the thing is, like, I can't even sit here and say that any of them have any traits where they're okay with being alone. It's like, no, Samantha's not in a relationship and she sleeps around, but because of the fact that she sleeps around, it's like, shoot, clearly the girl don't want to be alone and she having sex with a different guy every day. Like, what's tea? And it's like, Miranda, she just doesn't want to say, like, she's scared to be alone. And then, you know, Carrie, she chases after Mr. Big because he doesn't make her feel alone. And then you got Charlotte, who wants to be in love because she doesn't want to be alone. And so she just fall in love with the first person that look at her. So it's just like, this message, this should have been a storyline that they build it up on instead of all this other stuff, for real. Okay, this honestly might have been one of my favorite episodes because of how crazy it was. Okay, so tell me why in this episode a designer dies. And what I'm telling you, there was no remorse for the designer. Like, people came to his funeral, you know, decked out in his stuff, which is cool. But Carrie started lighting a cigarette, and I was just like, oh, like, okay. Charlotte ends up meeting some widow at the funeral, and, you know, he claims that he's mourning his wife, but he asked Charlotte out on a date. Like, him and Charlotte end up going out. Mind you, they met at, you know, a grave site, his dead wife's grave site. And, you know, Charlotte just didn't think anything of it. It was just like, oh, you know, she said he's been married before, so that means he has experience. And it's just like, I mean, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. Then Miranda buys her first apartment, and honestly, she just seems so happy. It seemed like it was a big accomplishment for her, and yeah, I was happy for her. However, Miranda was having panic attacks because of the fact that she's honestly realizing and accepting, well, she's having a hard time accepting the fact that she's a single woman. So she legit has panic attacks, especially because when she moved in, she meets her neighbor, and her neighbor told her, like, oh, you know, the last person that moved in here, she died in there alone and her cat ate her face. So Miranda almost chokes on her damn food, and she has a panic attack. And honestly, that was so brushed over. Like they so brushed over this. But it's like Miranda was real deal having like anxiety. Like, and this is what I mean when I say Miranda was just so being the strong friend. But in her mind, she was just going crazy. Like, she wasn't sexually free as Samantha, and she didn't cry as much about it as as Charlotte, and she wasn't stuck on some dude like Carrie. But in her mind, she was really freaking out at the fact that, damn, like, I really might be here alone like the lady beside me. Like, what should I do? She was walking down the street, and it was just going, woo, woo, woo. And the next thing we knew, she was in the hospital. And it was just like, whoa, like, check on your strong friends. Like I really hated that for her. Like, I hated that for her. I hated that. Then we have Samantha, who's at the funeral. She decided to do some PR stuff. So like this wedding was just an opportunity for everybody. So Samantha ends up meeting someone, like some business opportunity. So as she's doing that, her and dude start, you know, kissing or whatever, and dude's wife walks in. My thing is, he's sitting here and was about to get it on with Samantha in his house that his wife is in. And the thing is, when wife walked in, he wasn't on some, oh my gosh, he was just like, shoot, Samantha's the one that had to stop. Samantha had way more remorse than old dude did. So basically, wifey put out a social hit on Samantha and basically, you know, Samantha was A-list. She went from Z-list. And it's just like, even though Samantha probably would have done it if he was married or not, but it's like, dude, why are you sitting here putting out a social hit on me because your husband unfaithful to you? Like, I didn't know your man was married. Like, well, I don't know if in this instance Samantha knew he was married, but it's just like, I'm pretty sure you put out a social hit on me, but I'm pretty sure you still laid down next to your husband. What was his, like, no, I can't go get something to eat, but your husband's still eating steaks and you probably still cooking them. So it's like, what, like, why not why she didn't do the same for her husband? Like, I didn't like that, no lie. You have Carrie throughout all this funeral stuff, you know, she ends up calling Big, of course, and asks him on a date. Okay, so yeah, I'm guessing it just made her think more about her future. So she just thought, why not call the person that I feel like I want a future with and that wants a future with me? And that's Mr. Big. Like, duh. As Carrie is getting ready for her date, you know, she's happy, sad, excited. Like, she's just having a mixture of emotions. But as they go on the date, you know, they're just talking, they're vibing, and he's just, you know, being him, I guess. But what I can say and what I hate to say as I watch like what I hate to say as I watch this scene, it's just like I said, like, the chemistry was very sexual, but it's just like, no lie, I understand why she was confused, because I'm confused for her as I'm sitting here watching this, but I know how the story ends, so I'm yelling at her, telling her to leave. But in the moment, I understand why she was confused, because as they're sitting down having dinner all in each other's faces, it's like, it would be hard to kind of differentiate, like, dude, do you like me or not? Like, because I'm confused. Because it's like, if you just want to, you know, like, why are you doing this? Like, if I were her, I would be confused too. So they're on their date. It's getting a little steamy and stuff. So they go back to his house. They kiss, and she just abruptly leaves because she's just like, she doesn't know if this feels right. And as she says that, I'm just like, okay, like, she's confused. Like I said, she's confused. But I thought she was confused and she was leaning towards the, you know, the portion of her brain where she thought it was gonna be wrong. So that didn't happen, okay? But then we go back to Charlotte, where she sleeps with, you know, widow dude, and yeah, she just feels like the wife is okay with it. And honestly, Charlotte, I don't know what the heck she was talking about. Like, it was honestly kind of strange. Like, she didn't have an issue smashing dude in front of his ex-dead wife's picture, but I digress. But the next day, she finds out that old dude just goes to the gravesite and picks up women because he invited her to something dealing with his dead wife, and like 3 other women show up, and it's just like, what? This is what you do? You just sit at your wife's gravesite and try to trick on women? Like, are you weird? So she hits dude with some flowers and leave, as she should have. And I'm guessing that is the most Charlotte way to break up with somebody, like hitting them with flowers, because, you know, she's not like fiery like that. So, and that was a good way. That was the most appropriate way, because yeah, he deserved all that. Because dude, are you a weirdo? Like, what? So after Carrie stood big up after their date or whatever, I'm guessing he's calling her, but she doesn't answer. So ultimately he shows up to her house and, you know, basically just like on some why you not answering the phone type thing. However, he doesn't say that. It's like, the thing about, like, I don't know what's up with them. They don't have conversation. It's like their conversation is just them asking each other questions. It would be like on some, you didn't call me. I mean, why you didn't call me back? Why didn't you call me back? Well, I didn't feel like you wanted to talk to me. Why didn't you feel like you wanted to talk to me? Like, dude, like, yes or no? Yes or no? Like, don't piss me off. The thing I hate about Carrie is like, she just really didn't challenge these little question thoughts. Cause it's like, okay, if you only want to respond to me in questions, then I'm just gonna have a whole bunch of questions for you. Cause it's just like, we're gonna talk about this. But they never talked about it. It's like he shows up and they kiss, you know, they kiss, and as they're kissing, like she stops and she's just like, you know, no, she's like she has to stop herself from doing all this, and to prevent herself from sleeping with him again, she had to take him bowling. So they go bowling, like, yay. That's so not sexual, but that's how she had to control herself. And so it's just like, so when I saw that and heard that, I'm just like, okay, for her, is this just a sexual thing? Like, cause it's like she literally had to stop herself from kissing him to take him bowling just so she could not have sex with him. It's like, dude, just talk to the dude and not have sex with him. Like, it's not that deep. Like, but they go bowling, and as they go bowling, it seems like they have a good time. They have a fun date. And he asks her, like, you know, are you ready for this again? You know, just double entendre stuff, I guess. And like I said, it's just like he was just playing with her because he knew how bad she liked him. And it's just like one thing I don't understand. Right now, I just don't understand his motive, because it's just like, oh, he liked her. It's like, I don't want to say, well, shit, I don't even want to, like, at first I was gonna say I don't think he hated her, but it's just, I don't know what he felt about her, honestly, because it's like, it was not emotion. It's like, this was just play, you know? Like, I don't know, I can't read the man. At least not right now. I can't read the man. But it's like, he asks her, like, you know, are you ready for this again? She says yes. They kiss, and then they go back, you know, they do what they do. And it's just like, honestly, like I said, after watching, what episode is this? After watching this episode, I'm confused right along with Carrie. For real. It's like, and then it's like, he just gaslights her so much to the point where, of course, she thinks that the guy like her. But it's just like, I don't understand how she can like somebody that is just like, that don't even answer her questions in full. It's just like, I also found this episode very hilarious. Like, okay, so Charlotte is having an opening at her gallery for like a lesbian painter, and the funny thing about this whole episode is I really didn't think Charlotte was a lesbian or anything, but she was really having fun meeting friends that are lesbian, and they honestly just rejected the hell out of her and was just like, yo, if you not about to, you know, lick a little poom poom, then, you know, you really not game for real. Okay, like, ain't no friends. So it's just like, dang, like, I gotta be smashing one of y'all to be in the circle. Like, why I can't have lesbian friends? Like, what? Like, so this episode was hilarious to me. So Charlotte is having an opening at her gallery, but Carrie is sneaking out to meet Big because she hasn't told her friends that she's seeing him again. Understandable. Like, y'all, like, I really, like I said, like, y'all, don't lie. Carrie is so relatable because I've been here before. Like, I'm sitting here talking ish about Carrie and Big and whatnot, but no lie, I've been through this whole situation. Like, and no lie, her sneaking out to do this is honestly so real. You sneak out, don't tell anybody, and when they ask you about it, I just pretend like it never happened. Like, girl, what you mean I snuck out? No, I didn't. But when she goes out and she sees him, like, she basically admits in her voiceover, like, it was something about him. She even, like, she said, she worded it very stupidly, though. Like, you know, seeing it emotionally unavailable older man, something like that. Like, it gave her a thrill. Like, she said she felt sexy. It's like, and honestly, that's probably what it was. Who he was and what he represented, it just probably in the toxic and all the problems that came with it, it was just a turn on for her. And what made it worse is that, like I said, he gaslighted her. Like, if he's, but like, yo, I really just go back and forth with this a lot because I really don't think that he loved her. Because she loved him. I don't feel like he loved her, but he had to feel a little something for her because, no lie, it got to a point where around this time, it was getting toxic. So it's just like, dude, I know you are not that bored where you putting up with this girl and her drama just off of you being bored. Like, you gotta at least like her a little, just like at least a little bit, big. Just a little bit. Like, so they're sneaking around and whatnot, and like I said, she just said, like, this is just a thrill for her, and it's just like, okay. But back at the museum, Charlotte catches her boyfriend kissing another girl, and when she catches him, he was just like, what? We're just kissing. And even as she catches him, Charlotte's just like, oh, excuse me. Like, when I'm telling y'all, oh, this was a work event for Charlotte though, but it's just like all somebody would have been like, oh my gosh, what's all that noise coming out the basement? I would be like, oh, you know, I had to handle a little something down there. Somebody had me messed up. After that, Charlotte, she hangs with her new lesbian friends. You know, they make her feel good and straight, and basically all the drama from the men, it just seems like it goes out the window. Not because she's attracted to these women, but she's just having a good time. And Carrie asks, you know, what constitutes cheating? And honestly, to me, what constitutes cheating is anything flirtatious, no lie. Like, I don't consider liking pictures cheating, but sliding in DMs, yeah. Commenting under pictures, depending on what the comment is, but flirting, giving out numbers, sex, all that, anything flirtatious, physical, and all that's cheating in my book. Because Samantha was on here and she was basically talking about, you know, like a cheating curve, and it's just like, there is no cheating curve. Like, either you cheat or you don't cheat. And I honestly don't think whether you get caught or not justifies cheating. Like, regardless if you got caught or not, like, you're still a cheater. Like, you just a cheater that didn't get caught yet, you know, because whatever done in the dark comes back to the light. So yeah, but yeah, afterwards, who do we have next? Who else was in this episode? Because I hate when there's an episode and not everyone has a good storyline. So let's see. Okay, we have Charlotte. Oh, and then we have Miranda, who oh my gosh, yes, I did love this episode. So Miranda goes out with some filmmaker dude, and he likes to watch porn while they're having sex. And and what I'm telling you, that was so funny to me because of the fact I really didn't know what was going on. Like, at first I thought he was just put on a TV show and it just so happened to have like an X-rated scene on. But I was like, oh wow, like every time they have sex, like, oh dude is really gonna have porn on. Like, that is crazy. The first time, like, she, you know, she didn't say anything about it. So I was just like, oh, but you could tell she was kind of irritated by it. But it's just like, I honestly don't even feel like she should have gone through it the whole time the first time, because as soon as it would have cut on, she just should have stopped and be like, what? And then we go to Big and Carrie. You know, she decides to do something nice for him, and she heats up some cheese and marshmallows for him, or whatever the heck she did. And and the funny thing about this interaction is she tells him that, you know, hey, like, I haven't told my friends that I'm seeing you again. And he's on board with that. He's basically like, you know, me either. And she's just like, well, you don't have any friends. And he's just like, I mean, I still didn't tell anybody. And she's like, you know, maybe we should keep it a secret. And he's like, that's a good idea. And she's like, well, why do you want to keep it a secret? And he's like, well, I'm guessing you didn't want me to tell anybody. Like, dude, like, just say that you don't want nobody to know, because you don't want nobody to know that you messing with her again. Because she doesn't want anybody to know, because she feels like she knows it's wrong. Because me, when I hide things from people, it's either I don't want them to know, or it's because of the fact that I don't want them to know because I know it's wrong, and I would rather, you know, take my L's in peace rather than my L's in the loud, okay? But yeah, I feel like that's the reason why she wanted to keep it on the DL. He wanted to keep it on the DL because he didn't want anybody to know that, you know, they were messing with each other. And it's just like, why? So this brings me back to my whole question that I proposed, him loving her in his own way. I don't know how y'all say that. He didn't even want anybody to know that he was messing with the girl. It's just like, what? So after she leaves her secret boyfriend's house, she bumps into her friend Miranda, and she lies and tells her that, you know, she was getting her teeth cleaned and she was doing laundry and whatnot. And it's just like, oh, okay. But she said she never lied to Miranda before, so she's feeling really bad. So then we go to Charlotte, who's hanging out with the lesbians again. And yeah, they basically ask her, like, you know, everybody's wondering, like, are you gay? And she's like, no, you know, but I really enjoy the company and I really love you guys and blah, blah, blah. And old girl's just like, yeah, that's nice and all, but if you're not ready to lick no poo-poo, then, you know, yeah, all that is dead. And I was kind of hurt for her, because I was just like, oh, I wanted Charlotte to have some more friends. And it's like, how y'all know y'all couldn't work her into that? Okay, like, y'all gonna kick me out the circle automatically? Like, damn, like, I just wanted to be friends. Like, I was so hurt for her. So then after that, Carrie's diaphragm gets stuck. And y'all, no lie, I knew this show was old when I heard the word diaphragm. I was like, oh, okay, that's what the girlies were doing in the early 2000s, not the diaphragm. So her diaphragm gets stuck. And y'all want to know what? Samantha is the best friend ever, because she helps that girl go in there and get it unstuck. And I've never had a diaphragm before, but trust me, I know what it is. And it's just like, she just would have had a stuck diaphragm in there, because it just would have been like, damn, girl. So, are we still going to dinner, or? Because, no, not me. So, after they, you know, the diaphragm thing gets situated, they're just like, yeah, so we're skipping over something. Who are you doing what with, to the fact that, you know, this getting stuck? And so she tells them that she's seeing Big again. And everybody's energy was just like even Charlotte was just like, oh my gosh, he was such an asshole to you. I'm not that naive. And honestly, that would have been the comment that got me if I were Carrie. Like, Carrie walked away eventually. It was just like, you know what? No, I'm not doing this. But no, that comment would have been the comment that got me, Charlotte. Like, oh. The thing is, the girls were right. They weren't really coming at her foul, but they were just like, yo, this is a good idea. Like, anytime you get with him, it's this, that. But she walks away and she's like, you know what? Oh, but you want to know what she said? When they were just like, he's such an asshole to you. She was like, not really, maybe. Like, honestly, it's things like that when you just gotta be the friend, and it's just like, do you, okay? Like, do you? Because clearly you doing that anyways, especially if you're doing it behind our backs, because they even clocked her on that. Like, girl, clearly you knew something was wrong, if you were doing it behind our backs. Like, for real. Like, let's for real. So, but she defends her. One thing about Carrie, she is going to defend her man big. She don't care who says what. She is going to defend her man. Like, within that whole session, she told them, nah, like, you know, he kind of did me wrong, but, you know, it's new. It's okay now. It's only been 3 weeks. I would have just been like, okay, girl, if you say so. Samantha's storyline was just like she was messing with the trainer that put like a lightning bolt on her thing, but so it's just like that's irrelevant. I forgot I even had that in my notes. But afterwards, the most frustrating part of this episode happens for me. And Big takes Carrie dancing and she asks them, are they together officially? And he does not answer the question yes or no. He asks, what does officially mean? And he says, every day of my life is for real, officially. Like, she told him that is such an infuriating response. And he still doesn't answer her question. But when she asks him, like, okay, let me ask you this. What's the reason why we broke up? Then he wanted to answer a full question. He was like, oh, you tell me, because you're the one that left me high and dry with 2 tickets to wherever. Like, I mean, because and like she said, you didn't tell me what I wanted to hear. Like, what's tea? Like, hello? But he ends up telling her that he really did miss her. And Carrie took that as they're back together. Him saying that he missed her, she took that as they are officially back together. Like, okay. Like, I was trying to read between the lines. I was like, okay, maybe I don't understand this inside joke. But no, like, she literally thinks, well, they are back together because he said that he missed her officially. And it's just like, no lie, he probably did miss her. And it's just like, shoot, he's just as toxic as she is. And my thing is, isn't he supposed to be older than them? Isn't he like pushing 80 or something? Like, dude, come on now. Like, he couldn't even answer the question. Like, he could have at least said no. Or it's like his actions say no, but it's like she does not hear that. Like, she is just looking at him and looking at all the good. Like, right now she just see that she is dancing with her man. That's all she see right now. And immediately, like I said, in therapy we practicing grace and accountability. Okay, I give Carrie grace because of the fact that she was just so manipulated by this man, but we gotta I gotta hold her accountable. Like, he never, like, I don't get how them dancing constituted as them being back together. Like, I was confused. But do I agree? Did he miss her? He probably did miss her. Like I said, I don't know what I feel like he feels for her, but he probably did miss her, because it's just like, damn, who else was gonna chase his ass around? So next we have another funny episode, and y'all, this episode honestly did kill me too. So Miranda has a friend coming over, and it seemed like she basically, you know, likes this friend. I think it's a guy that's coming into town. I think his name is, what's his name? James or something. I think it's James. So she buys furniture. So she gets a friend of Charlotte's, this woman, to, you know, kind of help her do her furniture for James. Keep that in mind. So then we go to Carrie, and she's spending the night at her man's house, and she doesn't have a toothbrush. Okay, so she asks her man, like, yo, can I get a toothbrush? And she is so flattered when she is so flattered that he gives her a pink toothbrush head to brush her teeth. Like, y'all, she was so happy and flattered that they had his and hers toothbrush heads. That's all it took for her. Like, the toothbrush heads. Like, and the thing is, like, like, I was laughing. Like, no lie. I thought it was funny. Off of, like she was literally, and it just, like, damn. Like, is this literally the flattering moment in this relationship where it's just like, you know, this is getting better? Like, that's what it took? The toothbrush head? Yikes. Like, damn. But, you know, he gives her the toothbrush, a kiss on the forehead, and it's just like, I guess now she has her toothbrush at her man's house. So I guess we're improving in her mind, but I guess, whatever. So the girl that was supposed to help Carrie with the that was supposed to help Miranda with the furniture ends up coming over while Miranda's friends James is over, and Miranda thought James was coming over to kind of be with her. James ends up disregarding Miranda and ends up marrying the furniture girl that he just met. Crazy, right? And I literally hated this for Miranda, because in this episode, like, she just seemed like so insecure, like, about the way she looked. Like, she just seemed like she was feeling so invisible, and I hated that for her. Like, she really thought James was coming down to be with her. Now she's getting ignored by James. So now they're going to have a wedding, and the girls are in the wedding, and Charlotte now is just like, okay, I want to pick a sexy dress with my back out so people can pay attention to me. She's like, you know, the bride and groom barely know each other. Charlotte wants people to pay attention to her. She's feeling invisible. Then you have Miranda. She's feeling invisible. So then you have Carrie that calls Big in the middle of the night and was just like, these two people that just met are getting engaged. Like, whoa. And she asks him, do you believe in love at first sight? You know what he tells her? He believes in lust at first sight. Y'all, is it bad? It's like, I hate Mr. Big so much, but it's like, he kind of funny. Because why would he tell her that? So the bride asks Carrie, can she read something at her wedding, a poem or something? So Big says that he's going to come. And, you know, she's kind of like, oh, because usually, you know, her men don't pop out with her or pop out for her. So it's just kind of like, oh, you want to go to this wedding with me to hear me talk? Like, okay. And she's kind of like, y'all, this was just a boom for her. She got the toothbrush head this summer, and her man want to come hear her talk. She said, this dude being nice to me. But the crazy thing is, you know how with other old dudes, she didn't know she was looking for the toxic. It's like she was so content with the calmness that was going on in their relationship. So it's just like, with everybody else, she just didn't like them. She just like Mr. Big, cause she like the toxic stuff, but she really loved when he calm and he going along with her. Like, she loved when they on a good pace, cause like, she seemed like she was gagged in this moment. Like, oh, okay, you want to go to the wedding with me? So, however, we get to the wedding, and during the speech, Mr. Big has to leave. He takes a call or whatever, and she's super upset about that, because she's just like, you know, how could this not, of course this wasn't important to him. I'm not important to him, and woo. And it's just like, yeah, no lie. It's like, he can't help it that he got a call, but at the same time, dude, you did not have to take that call while your girl was up there giving her speech. It's just like, whatever. Then you have Charlotte, who she sleeps with one of the groom's people. What's it called? The bridesmaid and the groomsman. What? I don't know. I haven't been to a wedding. So she sleeps with one of the groom's people just because, you know, she has a one night stand with him just because of the fact that it was just in the midst of the fact, like, it was a wedding, romance is in the air, and she really thought, you know, this was love at first sight, of course, because she's Charlotte. And yeah, like I said, Charlotte just gets away with her one night stand, her whoreness ways, because of the fact that, you know, she just carries herself nice. But the thing is, not like she does it with everybody that she sees, but she literally does it with a lot of people, because it's like, if Samantha would have done that, they would have been tooting their nose at it. But Charlotte does it, and it's just like, oh, you know, she's a lover girl, emotions go into it. But that doesn't mean, like, just because she a lover girl, that doesn't give her the excuse to just sleep with everybody because she feel like that's gonna be her husband. Like, it still gives horror. She sleeps with old dude, and afterwards he introduces her to his parents because, you know, they're at the wedding. She dances with old dude's dad, and old dude's dad gropes her butt. And so she tries to tell old dude, and he doesn't believe her. He's just like, oh, my parents have been married for 50 years. He's not gonna fold because some girl is wearing a slutty dress. Like, Charlotte thought she was doing her thing, trying to look good in here. And it's just like, I hate that it backfired on her like that, because she really did look good in that dress. And it's just like, the girl just wanted somebody to look at her, pay attention to her. Like, that did not, like, I didn't say touch me. Like, damn, like, I can look good without your dad trying to touch me. So that's over with. It did. Miranda really didn't get any closure in this episode. And I didn't like that because, yeah, Miranda, I wanted her to not be seen by somebody, but her to at least see herself. It's like the closure that she got is like she gave the bride and groom some frogs. And it's just like, that was a hee hee ha ha. Like, that was kind of funny to me. It was a gag to me, but I really just wanted in this episode for her to look in the mirror and see herself. Like, she's just enough for herself, because Charlotte, she looked for the validation of another guy for it, you know, but she put on the dress for her, but she got validated by sleeping with some guy because she thought it was gonna be love at first sight. But Miranda, she didn't really get that kind of closure to the storyline, and I didn't like that. So afterwards, of course, Carrie talks to Big, and she's just basically just like, she's upset that he didn't want to sign the card and that he walked away. And he's basically on some, bruh, like, you know, I ain't want to sign the card. And she's just like, I want to be with someone who's gonna be with me at the end of a wedding. And he's like, all right, I'll stay. And so they get cake, and, you know, but yeah, they get cake and then they leave, and then they walk out together. And like I said, I'm still not on so we asked the question again. Did he love Carrie? And still at the end of this episode, I'm still saying no. Cause it's like, y'all, I don't know. It's like, no lie. I know I hate the character, and that's how much I like the show, because of the fact that I hate it. And I like him because of the fact that I hate him, okay? So it's just like the Mr. Big character, no lie, it goes in and out for me. However, his feelings for Carrie, like, it just confuses me, because it's just like, I feel gaslit watching this, okay? So it's just like, I can just imagine how she feels going through that. Like, I'm telling y'all, like, and this is even, like, as an L to myself, like, being with someone manipulative while you're, like, mentally and emotionally weak, like, no lie, it does that to you. Because if I were in the shoes with Carrie, no lie, he probably would have been getting me too. Because it's like, I'll sit here telling you, like, oh, be with me to the end, and you sit here, okay, I'll be with you. Like, I'll be like, oh, like, okay, so I'll just be confused, like, what? So then we go to episode 8. And so Big takes Carrie out to an event. He kind of introduces her as his girlfriend. He says it kind of abruptly, and you know, she's just so happy, and she was kind of shocked. She's just like, girlfriend, you never called me your girlfriend before. And he's just like, well, I never called you that to your face. So it's just like, okay, so I'm guessing that they're boyfriend and girlfriend now. I'm guessing that he's embracing it. He's saying it out loud. And what episode are we on? Episode 8. So it's just like, okay, let's kind of see where we go from here. Because right now, am I feeling the love? No, but it's like clearly he feels something for her, and I could just leave it as that. Let's just leave it as that. So he even performs like a little song for her, and it's just kind of like, okay, cool. So Miranda goes to a little comedy date with some dude, and she finds out the dude that she's on a date with is married because his wife ends up calling, and she answers it, and she's kind of upset about it, and Miranda's back on her, you know, all dudes are jerks type thing, and I really hate that for her. So Miranda's talking to them about it, and you know, she's basically telling them like, you know, dudes are trash, things don't change overnight, and woo. And so Charlotte's like, you know, I kind of believe things change overnight, and she's just like, look at Big and Carrie, like they seem like they're in a way better space. And as Carrie's hearing this, she's kind of like, I'm used as a good example thing, and everybody else is at the table is just on some, you know, like BS, how is it better? And Carrie's just basically trying to defend her and her relationship, like, you know, like, yeah, it is better, and this and that. But honestly, everybody's not hearing it. Shoot, I'm not even hearing it. No lie. And then Samantha meets this old man named Ed, and she meets him because he's making a deal with Donald Trump. And y'all, honestly, before Donald Trump was president, no lie, like, I forgot that he was, you know, a reality star. I forgot he did other things. Like, seeing him in here, I was just like, oh, Donald Trump. But I forgot that he was that before he was our president. So whatever, it just caught me off guard. I thought it was funny. So she meets this old rich white guy. She considers, you know, kind of messing around with him because he's like old and he's a millionaire. So she kind of considers messing around with an older guy, and Carrie's just like, ooh. And then Carrie goes to Big, and she kind of tells him that, you know, she wants him to meet her friends. And honestly, I really don't know why. It's like, I get wanting your friends and your partner to be familiar, but it's like she wanted them to be friends. And it's just like, honestly, even and then considering all that she has told them about Big, it's just like so they can change their mind about him. And it's just like, girl, at this point, the damage is already done. They already don't like the dude. They already know his dirt on. So it's just like, it honestly would be best if she just keep them in her relationship just separate. It's like, girl, they don't even want to know him at this point. It's like, it seemed like Charlotte was always rooting for him, but it's just like, it seemed like everybody else was just kind of on some, girl, that's your man type thing. And honestly, I agree with them. And Big is basically on the same thing. Like, girl, why do I need to know your friends? Like, them your people. So Samantha tries to try things out with Ed. He gives her expensive stuff and woo. And she tries to fool around with him. But when she sees his butt and how saggy it is, that's when she stops and was just like, yeah, no, I can't do this. So she stops with him. And so Miranda and Carrie were supposed to have dinner, but she cancels on her to go be with Big. And Miranda, you know, is infuriated, and she gets kind of mad at her, and she yells at her while she's at the place. And then this is when we meet Steve. So as she's waiting and she's mad, she meets this bartender named Steve, and Steve is honestly being real nice to her. And you know, Samantha is such a hard body that she's kind of brushing it off. They end up hooking up, and afterwards, you know, he tries to be friendly with her, communicate with her, you know, like, what are you doing after this, and woo. And Miranda's just like, look, you don't gotta pretend to like me just because I gave you some, you know, like, if you just want to do this again, that's cool, but I don't want you to pretend to like me. And Steve is just like, you know, like, dang, you know, I like you. You know, I thought you were cool. I thought last night was special. And Miranda's just kind of brushing it off, and she's just like, oh, okay, bye, like kind of brushing him off. But deep down, she feels like it was special too. But because of the fact that she has all these bad experiences with men, she thinks Steve is like the other dudes that she's experienced. So she's just brushing him off. And Steve is just kind of taking the wrath for the shit that the other dudes did. And you know, I kind of felt bad for him in that moment, because it's just like, damn, give Steve a chance, girl. So Big was supposed to meet Carrie and her friends out, but then he cancels last minute. It was just like, you know what, these are really your friends, you go have dinner with them. Mind you, everybody at dinner is expecting Big. So Carrie comes to dinner by herself, and they're just kind of on some, you know what, I knew Big wasn't coming, all dudes are jerks. And so Miranda also sees Steve, and she kind of gives Steve that same energy, just like, dude, leave me alone, like, we hooked up. And so Steve is like on some, like, you know, what's going on? Can you just pretend that I'm not some piece of crap guy? And she's just like, no, she can't, because all dudes are terrible. Like, damn. And so she's just like, she uses the whole Big thing as an example. So then Big shows up. I'm honestly surprised he showed up too. So Big shows up and actually joins them for dinner. And no lie, I was kind of shocked too. Like, Harry looked shocked. Like, even the way she turned around, she was like, oh, because she was just like, damn, you know, he did, because he did stand us up. Like, so him showing up, it kind of gave Miranda that little push. Like, maybe all dudes aren't terrible. So she runs out in the rain and she kisses Steve, accepting Steve and giving him a chance. And I personally loved that for her, because I really do want nothing more than somebody to just let Miranda kind of be a softie and not the hard ass that she is. Because clearly we know she wants it. She has panic attacks of dying alone. She thinks she's invisible. So the first guy that actually sees her, of course she's gonna be skeptical of it. But I'm really glad that this happened, because I really want to see her in a different light other than her just being the bitchy, mean friend. Like, and then with Big, him showing up at the end, I was just kind of like, okay, because not like he did this for him. He don't care about her friends. Like, of course he did this to kind of make Carrie happy, you know, meet her friends. So it's just like, I was kind of like, okay, so, okay. And then we get to episode 9, where then I go back and change my mind, where it's like the time where I was just like, okay with him, it went back down to no, absolutely not. So episode 9, bro, is when I really wanted somebody to slap, where I wanted Carrie to like slap the crap out of him. So she sits here and she's watching him check out other women. Well, I'm telling you, he was breaking his back to check out other women. Like, he wasn't even being subtle about it. Like, it wasn't like somebody walking by and somebody could be walking by and he was, and it was just like, damn, like, your girlfriend is right here, like, relax. So she tells her friends what's going on, because she's too scared to tell him, her boyfriend, not to look at other women. And she basically just like, you know, she feel like she can't change him anyways. So she asks the question, can you change a man? And the answer is no. People only change when they want to be changed. So, but it's just like, her seeing that her man is looking at other women, that honestly should have been a deal breaker for her. That should have been a no, I'm out. And it's just like, clearly he didn't have the love and respect for her to the point where he could just be focused on her. So it's just like, I'm not on the wave yet where it's like, oh, he liked her in his own way. Because it's like, if he would have liked or loved her, he would not be checking out other people, especially in her face. So then we go to Steve and Miranda, and they're having scheduling issues because he works at a bar. He's a bartender overnight, and you know, she's a lawyer at day. So their schedules are kind of, you know, conflicting within their relationship. So they're trying to figure out how they're gonna make it work, because you know, it's affecting their relationship. And then you have Charlotte. She's seeing a guy who is uncircumcised and she doesn't like it. Samantha encourages it, but Charlotte, this is her first time doing it, and she's just talking about she don't know if she like it. So then Charlotte's man decides to get uncircumcised, and you wanna know what he said? He's just like, yo, I have a new little thing. He said, I need to put this to use. So Charlotte's thinking this on her. He's just like, yeah, that's cute, but I kind of want to just share it. So she's the one that kind of gave him the encouragement to get uncircumcised. He does it, and he says he kind of wants to just share it with other people. Class, she dumped him, and he's out of here because it's just like, Joe, whatever. So then, not only is Mr. Big out, he's still flirting and looking at other women. She was supposed to meet him somewhere. He's 2 hours late. So when he arrives, she tells him like, yo, like, I've been waiting here for 2 hours. Like, what's going on? Like, it's cold and this woo. Well, you wanna know he told her? He said, you could have waited inside at the coffee shop on the corner. What? Like, and so Carrie at this point, she's still not telling him everything, how she feels. So she just has all this built up aggression at him, all this built up aggression. So they're laying in bed, and he accidentally pushes her off the bed, you know, kind of in a way saying like he's not realizing that she's there. And so when she gets pushed off the bed, he's just like, oh my gosh, Carrie, are you okay? And y'all, she punches that man in the face. Honestly, I'm not here for domestic violence, but I'm surprised it took that long for her to, you know, kind of punch him in the face after everything. But that was honestly the wrong timing. In the middle of the night, you getting pushed off bed. So, but this was the first time they actually had a real argument or something, because it's just like, okay, now it's getting too far. So she punches him in the face, and she, you know, basically tells him how she feels about everything, him looking at other women, and you know, he never come visit her, and she's always waiting for him, and blah blah blah. And he kind of tells her like, you know, her touching him was honestly not the way to get that out, like for real. So he sleeps on the couch, she sleeps wherever, but it doesn't even seem like they sleep. But honestly, y'all, this was the first, like, I like this episode. This was the first time they actually had a real conversation. Because, yeah, girl, honestly, you punching him in the face was not the answer. But like I said, I'm surprised it took her this long to do it. But it's like she had so much built up anger and aggression at him, where it's like, yeah, that happened. And no lie, she meant that. She meant that. And yeah, that kind of woke him up a little bit, because y'all want to know what happened next? He visited her house. Wow, like, he spends the night at her house for the first time. Wow, that's just like, all she had to do was punch the man in the face. He spends the night at Carrie's house for the first time, and then you have Miranda and Steve. They're figuring things out, you know, and she seems like she's falling for Steve, and Steve is falling for her. And that is the first 9 episodes of season 2 of Sex and the City. What have we learned so far? We have learned that Miranda is a hard ass, but she is just like everyone else. She wants the same thing that the girls want. She's just not, you know, wimpy about it like them, but it really does bother her of the fact that it's possible that she could be alone. And she feels like out of everything that she's gone through, like, you know, she just wants to feel seen by someone. But the first guy she did feel seen by, she felt like he was on BS. So, but the consistency of Steve kind of broke her down, and we like that. That's good. What have we learned about Charlotte these past 9 episodes? That Charlotte, she's also someone that's just like them. She just carries herself very, very gracefully. She doesn't use the same words. She doesn't dress the same. She's just more classier. But it's just like, she'll also sleep with someone the day of, if they tell her they love her. She's just helpless, romantic, and desperate, you know, and that's just what it is. And kudos to her, I guess. Have Samantha. Not really these past next 9 episodes, not really, you know, she's still doing the same thing. So it's like, good for her. And then you have Carrie. Honestly, like I said, as much as I hate to see it, I understand Carrie. I honestly understand. Regardless of what bad I'm about to say, I honestly understand, because you were just dealing with a mastermind manipulator narcissist. But it's just like, it just seemed like Carrie, though, she's just toxic. That's what I can say. She's a toxic person that doesn't want to admit that she's toxic. She's someone that wants to be coddled but doesn't want to say like, hey, I want to be coddled. She's someone that loves to chase someone but also enjoys when somebody chases her. And if that's love for her. And no wonder why she likes Mr. Big, because that's the love that he represents. It's like, it's hard, and she likes that. Like, because when the guy that was easy came her way, that was too easy for her. She ain't like that. She thought it was something wrong with him. But with Mr. Big, she knows there's something wrong with him, and no lie, he honestly just gives her the attention. Like, no lie, he really just gives her the attention, and that's probably why she think that he likes her so much, because he literally gives her attention, you know. It's like, because as much as I hate to say it, he does answer all her calls. He does call her, you know. They go out sometimes, but it's like, sometimes when they go out, he show her love. Sometimes when they go out, he doesn't. So it's just like, she's very confused. And he's, well, honestly, I don't even want to say he's confused. It seemed like, I don't know, I still haven't figured Mr. Big out yet throughout these 9 episodes. But can I answer the question, did he love Carrie but just in his own way? Right now, I am still saying no. But what I can say, he felt something for her. He felt something for her. It was a little, you know, but was it just sexual? Honestly, it could have been a little bit more than that, but right now it's just like, I don't know. But like I said, I feel Carrie, and I understand why she was so confused. But at the same time, I don't want her to be upset when the BS keep happening, because she's enabling it. It's like, what's irritating me is that she enables this behavior. Don't sit here and say you don't want your man looking at other women, but you don't say anything when he does it. And you really think punching him in the face was gonna do something. It's just like, but punching him in the face made him actually come over to her house. So it's like, I wouldn't condone it, but it's like, maybe that's the push he kind of needed to be like, oh, okay. But yeah, y'all, that was the first 9 episodes of the Sex and the City season 2. I need to do the rest of the 9 episodes. So yeah, I'll be back. So I hope y'all enjoyed this. So in the meantime, just make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share, all that.